Thank you for stopping by to listen to my dad, Larry Witcher, otherwise known as the Professor of Useless Knowledge. I hope you enjoy it.
Here to tell you everything about anything is Mr. Know-It-All.
Okay, let's get Larry Witcher in here, the Professor of Useless Knowledge and sometimes Useful Knowledge. Larry, how you doing this morning?
I'm doing fine, Julio. And today, our World War II veteran
Yes.
lives here in Monroe, Georgia.
Okay.
He's one of our own.
Who is it?
Mr. Dan Melton.
Yes.
Dan Melton, 96 years old. He's
How
within
about
the
that?
infantry, served in the Pacific. Well, today is Mr. Dan Melton's day.
And we salute him, no doubt. That's great. That's great.
And tomorrow we have some from Winder, Georgia, coming up.
Mm-hmm. Okay, good. Want everybody to listen. Listen up.
Yes, everybody listen, because we don't need to forget these people. If it hadn't
Never.
been for them, we wouldn't be living the lifestyle we're living today.
Amen. That's right. And you know, a lot of these guys, when they heard that the war was on, ran out and enlisted. They didn't wait for somebody to come call them and draft them and tell them they had to go do this, had to go do it. A lot of them just went and enlisted and was glad to do it.
And we appreciate every one of them.
You better believe it.
Jersey, Georgia. You saluting Jersey, Georgia.
Yes, sir.
Jersey, Georgia got its name
Okay.
from a cow.
Well, you know, I wondered that, and I thought that couldn't have been from a Jersey cow.
Well, it was.
Okay, tell us
See,
about it.
they wanted to name themselves, I think it was Centerville, but there was already a little community named that.
Uh-huh.
So Mr. Abercrombie lived in Jersey, Georgia, and he had a great big Jersey bull, which became the talk of the town.
Mm.
So somebody said, well, why don't we just call ourselves Jersey?
How about that?
And since we honor the veterans, and you were talking to Coyote Jack the other day about Hoe Hand,
Yeah.
there's a story who they own. A good friend of mine was in the service. We tie both of these together now. Hoeing is one of the hardest things anybody's ever done if it's crabgrass and it's already got a good root system.
Oh, yeah, you're in for
And you
some
can
work.
dig it up, Julio, turn it over with the roots up.
Yeah.
If it rains that night, it'll take roots on the other side.
Yeah.
I believe it would root on all four sides if you turned it. But this boy was in the service, and it came time for them to get out, and they had to do something about, fill out a paper about if they wanted to re-enlist.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they had to put down the occupation. So this friend of mine, he put down on his paper that he was a hoe hand.
Mm.
Handed it back in when they took him up. Said in a few hours, man, it was doing the paper filling out and collecting. Said, Mr. Boyd, come up.
Yeah.
He said, what in the world is a hoe hand? He says, you better have a good explanation that I can understand.
Mm.
He said, well, you see, before I come into the Army, my daddy raised cotton.
Mm.
And when the grass gets in it, you got to hoe the grass out.
Yeah.
And he said, and we didn't have a whole lot of cotton, but our neighbor had some, and when we got through with ours, he'd hire me out as a hoe hand.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what a hoe hand is. So I was a hoe hand all my life too, Julio.
Yeah, my daddy had a whole neighborhood of us out there doing that, and I'm thinking, you know, I believe there's got to be a better way than this, you know, to make a few dollars. But that was,
Well,
they'd give you a hoe and said, now get out there and get it.
Yeah, and then the next thing though was a picking time.
Yeah.
So after you got it hoed, you got to put arsenic and molasses on it to kill a boll weevil. Then after that, you got to pick it. There ain't nothing easy in cotton except wearing it, Julio.
Yeah, and I told my daddy, and I told this to somebody yesterday, I told him that my daddy planted this big garden every year, and every year it seemed like it got bigger and bigger. And I told some of my buddies we'd be picking tomatoes and stuff. I said, I ain't never planting a garden this big, and I ain't never having rows this long.
But you did. We never need to say what we ain't never going to do, Julio.
Yeah, and I know how my daddy felt, because my daddy was trying to make some money, and you know, if you're going to plant, you got to have 2 rows of everything.
Yeah, you need 2 rows.
And then he'd wait a few weeks and set out 2 more rows of tomatoes, and then 2 more rows, and then before you knew it, you had a whole field of them. And, but he had to keep them coming off, you know.
Well, I heard something from your mama
Yeah.
that you plant over in the yard, even. Keep infringing.
Yeah.
Over, she said over and beyond.
Over
What
and
you did
beyond.
there.
That's right. I got that ditch from him from some of the guys down there that lived around us. They, when they came out with those wide harrows, you know,
Yeah.
they wasn't used to harrowing a place that wide, but half of the harrow would go over into the ditch, and they just planted ditch and all, you know. I mean, so I probably got that honest.
All right, well, we're going to let you have it, but today now, everybody give Mr. Dan Melton a call or say hello to him. It's his day.
Salute. Salute. Yeah.
Okay, then. Thank you, Mr. Know-It-All.
See y'all come tomorrow morning.
Okay, Larry, hope you have a good day, yeah?
Surely will.
Okay, there he goes. That's a professor of useless knowledge right there. Hey, Joel, we